Hi, it's Dwyer, gamblersadvisory.com. Remember, the opinion you should follow should be your own. Just consider this video to be a second opinion from a complete stranger online. Let's talk about the upcoming fight at 140 pounds that one of my favorite sites, boxrec.com, is calling a 5-star out of 5-star fight between champion Danny Garcia and challenger Amir Khan. But first, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fighter that is being overlooked here, the mandatory challenger who's being bypassed to make this fight happen, a fighter who I think might be better than both of these guys, and he is unbeaten mandatory contender Jose Alusagan. Let me just say, keep an eye on him. He's unbeaten. Because of the politics of boxing, he got passed over when Eric Morales was allowed to fight for the title, and he apparently is getting passed over here to allow this fight to happen, right? Just to understand that Jose Alusagan might well be better than both of these fighters. Okay, let's talk about this fight now. By the way, for more information on Jose Alusagan, I actually have him listed at dwyertop10boxing.blogspot.com on my pound for pound list. Okay, let's talk about this fight here. Let me read a couple of quotes from an excellent site, boxingscene.com, a site I check with often. And these are quotes from Danny Garcia in talking about his upcoming opponent, Amir Khan. Garcia is quoted as saying, "I don't think he has power. I think he's just a little physically strong, like his body's physically strong. But I don't think he has the one-hit knockout punch. I don't think he has that. I have that. And I got the skills. I'm able to set the knockout up. I'm just a different fighter. And like I said before, I can't see him beating me." Right? He continues. He does that because he's scared. He's talking about Amir Khan moving in fights. He says he fights scared. He hits and he runs. People don't want to see that. I don't even know why people buy into it, because he just hits and runs all the time. Now let me just make a few comments, and I understand that Danny Garcia is a young guy. But maybe it's just me. But really, somebody needs to tell Danny Garcia, when he's thinking about Amir Khan and whether he has one-punch knockout power, someone needs to tell him about the Amir Khan-Dmitry Salita fight, which is up on YouTube. Someone also needs to ask him how many body shots Amir Khan landed on Marcus Maidana before Marcus Maidana went down to his knees on the canvas and was very lucky to beat the count. If Danny Garcia doesn't understand that Amir Khan is one of the most offensively gifted fighters at 140 pounds, and that he possesses the kind of one-punch knockout power that left Salita out cold, then I just think that Garcia is kidding himself. Let me go one step further. You know, I know it's popular to bash Amir Khan since he lost his last fight to Lamont Peterson. But really, I thought that loss should have a question mark next to it, not just for the issue of possible performance-enhancing drugs, but also for the scoring of the fight itself. I thought Amir Khan won that fight, right? Anytime a referee is deducting points in an unusual manner, I think you really have to put an asterisk by that. I mean, did Amir Khan really lose that fight? I'm not sure if we really know the answer to that. In fact, I think I do. I don't think Lamont Peterson did enough to beat Amir Khan. Understand too, I understand Danny Garcia is wearing a crown. He feels like a champion. Amir Khan was a champion until he lost his championship under questionable circumstances to Lamont Peterson. Let me also say this too. Just imagine trying to tell a Sugar Ray Leonard or an Andre Durrell that he should give up his movement in the ring, right? That all he does is he hits and he runs, and that he should stand and fight. You know what? Movement is part of the game. That's part of the strategy. Why would Amir Khan give up his movement when it gives him a tactical advantage in the ring? Now, maybe I'm just a bit confused here, but is it too provocative to say that Danny Garcia is just a tad bit uninformed? Well, let me say something else too. I think style-wise, he's going to have a very hard time with Amir Khan. In many ways, this fight is like Amir Khan against Marcus Maidana. And while I picked Maidana to beat Amir Khan, who was a big favorite in that fight, and of course, I'm sure the Khan crowd in the 11th round of that fight understood that they were in a real fight and that there was a chance that their guy could lose that fight, right? I believe here, Amir Khan understands that Danny Garcia is probably the heavier puncher in this fight and could well hurt him like Marcus Maidana hurt him in their fight, right? After all, Marcus Maidana is what I call a mid-range hooker. Danny Garcia is a mid-range hooker. Neither Amir Khan nor Danny Garcia can fight inside, right? Sooner or later in the course of a 12-round fight, a mid-range hooker is going to land some hard hooks, and Danny Garcia hits harder than I believe is widely believed, right? When you look on films of Danny Garcia, he hits guys and they look stunned at the power, right? Now, all of that said, the way I'd bet this fight is I would take Amir Khan to win the fight, and I would straddle that against Danny Garcia by knockout. In my opinion, Garcia, who just beat Eric Morales by decision, only has a puncher's chance in this fight. And the reason is simply, and if you go back to the Ashley Theophane tape, Danny Garcia against Theophane, you're going to see that Garcia, a mid-range hooker, right? Think of a crab. Think of punches outside the screen. A mid-range hooker is naked up the middle. And just like Eric Morales actually had some success with Garcia early in their fight, and just like Ashley Theophane in the later rounds of their fight, had success with a jab right down the middle. Understand that Amir Khan, in my opinion, between these two, is the better boxer, throws the straighter punches, and has the better jab. Take a look at the Amir Khan-Paulie Malignaggi fight. You're going to see that Khan is jabbing Malignaggi all day long. I think Amir Khan knows how to use length, certainly better than Danny Garcia. Amir Khan clearly moves better than Danny Garcia. He has the hand speed advantage on Danny Garcia in addition to the foot speed advantage on Danny Garcia. Keep in mind, too, that Amir Khan himself went the distance against hard-charging Lamont Peterson, a guy who was trying to crowd him, and I don't think Danny Garcia is able to cut off the ring as well as Lamont Peterson is. So what I'm expecting, as in the Marcus Maidana Amir Khan fight, is I'm expecting Khan to jump out to a lead on the scorecards. I'm expecting him to be able to literally keep Danny Garcia at bay with an excellent jab and movement for at least the first 6 or 7 rounds. Then I expect Danny Garcia to start to get desperate. The fight will start to get sloppy as fighters get tired, just like the later rounds of Amir Khan against Marcos Maidana got a little bit sloppy. But I'm expecting Amir Khan to literally then get on his horse like he did late against Marcos Maidana. It's an open question as to whether Danny Garcia is able to catch up with him. It only takes Garcia one punch to take a guy out, right? I'm not here to doubt that. But what I am saying is that if this fight goes to a decision, I believe only one fighter can win the decision. And I believe that's Amir Khan. I do not believe that Danny Garcia, who just beat Eric Morales by decision, has the boxing skills to do the same thing to Amir Khan. Right? Khan not only can play ambush and jump in and throw hard combinations, but he's actually able to throw hard combinations in a shorter space. In other words, I believe he's going to make Danny Garcia, whose nickname is Swift, look slow. I like Amir Khan in this one, straddled against Danny Garcia by KO. I believe Garcia only has a puncher's chance. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. Let me say something else too. Amir Khan is best when guys try to stalk him. Take a look at his fight against Andre Kotelnik, right? That's when Amir Khan, who can actually fight off his back foot, is able to kind of just back up, pepper you with a jab, right? Hit you hard, have you walking into his jab all night, right? He does less well against slicker fighters, think Paul McCluskey, who can kind of stand there and anticipate the ambush. I don't believe Danny Garcia, a young guy, is as complex as Paul McCluskey. I don't expect Garcia to be on his back foot, right? I actually think Garcia is going to be trying to hunt down Amir Khan, and I don't think his foot speed is fast enough for his hunting to create a big problem for Amir Khan, right? So just like Amir Khan was able to withstand the nonstop pressure of Marcos Maidana in those early rounds of that fight, just like he was able to dominate, quite frankly, the first 2 early rounds of the Lamont Peterson fight, I believe he should be able to dominate Danny Garcia for the first 6 or 7 rounds of this fight. And with those rounds in the bank, and with the more desperate, wide-throwing Garcia in the later rounds, I think Amir Khan should have the upper hand, right? Garcia only has a puncher's chance, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments for me here online. Visit us at gamblersadvisory.com. Thanks for watching.